Welcome to Jammin Classics. Today we have Robert Lee Chan Romero with us, best known as Chan Romero. Chan, tell us about how you started in the music business.
Well, I saw a show on TV. It was called the Steve Allen Show, which was pretty popular back then. And Steve Allen said he was going to introduce America's newest rock and roll sensation. He said, and here he is, America's newest rock and roll sensation, Elvis Presley. And I seen a guy point at the TV camera and said, "You ain't nothing but a hound dog." And it made the hair stand up on my head. And I thought, my God, I got to do this.
You ain't nothing but a hound dog, crying all the time. You ain't nothing but a hound dog, crying all the time. Well, you ain't never gonna rap it, and you ain't no friend of mine.
Once that summer of '58, I was just got a idea that I should hitchhike out to California. So I put my thumb out and left Billings and went through Yellowstone Park, crossed through Idaho, Salt Lake City, and then I got a ride all the way to Las Vegas. But at the end of Las Vegas, out there on the highway, there's a big sign, no hitchhiking. But I seen a train out there in the middle of the desert, and I was in pretty good shape. I was into athletics, and I jumped on the side of the train because it was moving real slow, and that train took off, and which I had no idea that we were going into Death Valley. So luckily the conductor saw me and stopped the train and come back where I was, and he hollered at me. He said, "You stupid kid, don't you know you're liable to die out there? We're going into Death Valley." I said, "I had no idea." And he said, "Well, you get back there in the caboose." And he said, "There's a bunk bed and there's a little ice box, and I'm sure you're dying of thirst," which he don't know how true he was saying. So I went back there and got in that bunk bed and got me a cup of that cold water, and they took us into L.A. He said, "You will be in East Los Angeles about 5 or 6 in the morning when I tell you to get up." He said, "You stand at the end of the caboose there," and he said, "We'll be slowing down enough so you can jump out, and I'll tell you when to jump."
And then when you got to LA, how did you get started in auditioning for music?
I wrote a song called My Little Ruby, and I wrote Hippy Hippy Shake. But anyway, I looked in the phone book and I saw Specialty Records, who was Little Richard's label, and he was one of my favorites. And we called him and we set an appointment. We went in and we met the A&R director, the record producer, and his name was Sonny Bono. He said, "I got to get back in the studio. Give me your best 3 songs," and that's really all I had. So I sang Hippy Hippy Shake, If I Had a Way, and My Little Ruby. And he liked My Little Ruby, but the song that would actually be a classic, of course, was Hippy Hippy Shake. I started working on that song. Boy, I was excited. So meanwhile, during that week, my dad called my cousin, that was his nephew. My dad said, "I'm going to send a bus ticket." He said, "School's getting ready to start, and can you do me a big favor, put Chan on the bus? And I got to have him back here for school." So that was the end of my music career there.
So Sonny Bono asks you to come back with a rework your song My Little Ruby, and that Dad sends for you to come on home, and that was the end of that. Now, when did you come back out again?
My manager, the Weirdbeard, Don Redfield, sent we did a 2-track recording at the radio stations of my 3 songs, and he sent them to Delphi because he thought I sounded so much like Richie. So anyway, within the week, he got a call from Bob Keane at Delphi and said he wanted to sign me, and he asked him if he could send me right out. So I was terrified about planes then, because of what happened to Richie and Buddy and Bopper. And I caught a train. So the train took us, of course, to L.A., and my cousin picked me up and went to Delphi Records, met Bob Keane, and he signed me to his label, and we went into Gold Star Studios in Hollywood, where Richie recorded La Bamba and Donna and all, a whole album. And we cut my stuff, and that's how we got started.
Did you get a chance to meet Richie's family or any while you were there at the recording studio?
Yes, that's how I met Richie's mom and his family. Bob had called Richie's mom, Concepcion Valenzuela. We called her Connie, and she came to one of the sessions, and we became real good friends, and she took me in as her son. She told her aunt one morning, and I heard her talking, and she was making breakfast for us, and she said, "El Dios me quitó un hijo y me trujo otro." Means that God took my son and he brought me another one. Of course, that really touched my heart, and she invited me, of course, had invited me to the house in Pacoima. It was the house that Richie had bought for her before he passed, and she let me stay in his bedroom, and I became like part of the family.
When you were in the LA area, did you also do any cruising out here?
Yeah, I was staying with my cousins there in East LA, and she had a brother named Johnny, and Johnny was, a lowrider, and he had a cool car. I think it was like a 56 Ford, and he used to take us out cruising in that area. That was pretty cool. There was a lot of cool cars out there at the time, a lot of lowriders, but we just really enjoyed it.
Now, you were inducted into the Rockabilly Hall of Fame. How did you react to that?
I just it blew me away. But I told them that I was excited about it, and so the next thing I knew, we were heading to Green Bay, Wisconsin. That was the second to the last place that Richie and Buddy had appeared.
Your song is also used in movies. What are some of the movies it's been used in?
Cocktail with Tom Cruise, Angels in the Outfield, It Takes Two, and Uncle Buck, and just several others that I know of.
Chan, I understand you just put out a music video, Hippy Hippy Shake.
The kids really danced, boy, I'll tell you, they cut the rug. It was pretty exciting.
Well, let's take a look at that.
For goodness sake, I got the hippie hippie shake. Woo! I got the shake. Yeah, the hippie hippie shake. I can't keep with this hippie hippie shake. I get my thing with this hippie hippie shake. Yeah, this is no bad. The hippie hippie shake. Yeah, I said you shake it to the left, you shake it to the right, you do the hippie shake shake with all of your might, and then you shake. Woo! Yeah, you shake. Yeah, this is no bad. The hippie hippie shake. Shake, shake with all of your might, and then you shake. Woo! Then you shake. Yeah, this is no bad. The hippie hippie shake. The hippie hippie shake. The hippie hippie shake.
Oh, wow. That was a great video, Chan. Now, Chan, Hippy Hippy Shake, many things have spun off from that. And there's also the Hippy Hippy Shake milkshake. Tell us something about the milkshakes and where you can get them.
Well, it's a delicious shake, and if you're thirsty for a good milkshake, you can go to there in Cathedral City to the Pastry Swan Bakery. They have them available there, and also in Palm Desert, there's a restaurant, a bar. It's called The Fix.
You toured with Jerry Lee Lewis. Tell us about that experience.
Yes, we were on the same tour in Australia. I had the number 3 record, and Jerry Lee, of course, he had 2 or 3 songs already and on the charts, a whole lot of shaking going on and Great Balls of Fire, and we became real close friends. Jerry Lee was a goodly person, very friendly, and he liked my show.
Chan, in August of 2011, Mojo magazine in England did an interview with Paul McCartney, and they asked him who were the influences in his life. And number 3 is Chan Romero. What was your reaction when you saw and heard that?
Of course, as you would know, it blew me away. I had a hard time figuring that one out, but it was pretty cool, and I really appreciated that. That was a big inspiration to me.
How can your fans get a hold of you?
It's easy. Just go to the information on the screen, and there it is.
Thanks, Chan. Thanks, guys, for watching. Be sure to go to his website or call the number on the screen for future upcoming performances and information.